Taking a look at Aaron, we're starting to see the storm pull away from North Carolina. We'll talk about what the impacts will be gradually as it moves away.
And as it moves away, waves moving in. Right now, Hurricane Aaron is within just a couple hundred miles of the Outer Banks. Our team is on the ground tracking the conditions minute by minute.
And police cruiser ramming. A man is accused of deliberately crashing a pickup truck into a Raleigh police car is due in court today. The lengths officers had to go to arrest him. Hurricane Aaron is turning right off the North Carolina coast this morning, bringing the Outer Banks a lot of wind right now. Thank you for joining us. I'm Renee Chu.
And I'm Chris Lovingood. Right now, the storm is moving away from our state, 205 miles from Cape Hatteras. Rip currents and flooding are the biggest concerns for the Outer Banks this morning. And in the next 30 minutes, Cape Hatteras will experience high tide, adding to the already high waters from that storm surge.
We have team coverage today as we follow the storm and conditions on the coast. We begin with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. And Elizabeth, Aaron is the closest as it will get to us.
The center of circulation about 200 miles off of Cape Hatteras right now. The biggest issue, it seems, from our crews there at the coast was that storm surge. We had a lot of flooding yesterday in places, especially around Cape Hatteras and even down near Cape Lookout, down around Morehead City and those beaches. The storm has already made that northeasterly turn, so it will move quickly away from us today, moving at 17 miles per hour. That's pretty fast for a tropical system. It does still have winds at 105, making it a Category 2 storm. It stays Category 2 as it moves away from us and eventually over the weekend up into the North Atlantic, where it will fizzle out. Here's a look at some of the wind gusts. The winds were not expected to be a big issue, and they certainly have not been. Inland here from the beaches, 41 mile per hour gust here up right around Cape Hatteras. It's about 38, and up around Nags Head around 39 mile per hour wind gusts. The ocean has been huge, though, anywhere from 14 to 18 foot surf right off the coast. And of course, that damages the beaches. We'll talk more about some of that overwash that we had in Highway 12 coming up. But here's a look at what's happening around here. A little bit of sunshine trying to break out in Goldsboro. 73 is our current temperature. We have some gusty winds this morning. We've been gusting up to about 5 to 10, 15 miles per hour, and we'll see some gusts up to 20 miles per hour later on this afternoon. A small chance for rain, but no rain bands from Aaron for us. We'll see increasing sunshine this afternoon and a comfortable 85. Laura?
We love to hear that. Good morning, Elizabeth. Let's help get you moving here on your Friday Eve. Good news for everyone who's heading to work or school this morning. We're seeing a lot of green on the map right now. Right now, I'm tracking a little bit of congestion on I-40 near Rock Quarry Road here, checking and keeping our eyes to see exactly what's going on there. But overall, we are smooth sailing. Taking a live look right now at I-40 at Aviation Parkway, where traffic is just beginning to pick up a little bit. Drive times heading into the capital city right now. We're seeing no delays, which is really great news. Similar situation if you're traveling to the Bull City. Very little to no delays at this time. Be sure to tune us in on the radio and when you're heading out the door at 101.5 HD3. People along the Outer Banks are experiencing some of the worst impacts this morning. WRAL Sean Gallagher is live at the Oregon Inlet this morning. And Sean, I can see it's so windy there. I'm surprised your cap is staying on.
You and me both. I just had to tighten it a little bit to make sure it didn't fly away during this hit. But the winds are actually remaining constant right now. They're not really getting any heavier as Aaron continues its path past the Outer Banks. But it's still that storm surge that's on top of everybody's mind. It's why you see these road closed signs here behind me. The NCDOT put them up around 6:30 last night because they said the storm surge was too much for Highway 12. And take a look at this video from the Buxton area. You can get a sense of what too much looks like. High waves pushing feet of water over the roads, including Highway 12, leaving a lot of sand behind. And it's also pummeling vulnerable homes and businesses right there on the ocean front. Longtime Outer Banks residents point out towns like Buxton are especially exposed during storms like this because much of the beach and sand dunes have been lost over the past several years. Makes it a lot easier for storm surge to push farther and farther into town. And for the volunteer rescue teams who've weathered these storms, it poses unique difficulties.
I don't ever remember anything like this. So if this storm was, say, coming through and it was going to enter below us and come up the Pamlico Sound, we could tell you what it was going to do. If this storm was going to, maybe brush us on the ocean side, maybe we could tell you. But with this wave intensity and these wave heights, all we can do is just prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
And that next high tide is coming up on us, where the waves will continue rolling in this morning. So they're still going to monitor this. Even this morning, we've seen NCDOT crews going around these roadblocks to go and monitor those conditions. They've been telling us that they're going to monitor them closely and will reopen the road as it allows. But for now, in Nags Head, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
Destiny Patterson here in the WRAL Live Center. I want to give you a close look. This is a live picture from Surf Checks, and this is Surf City. You can see the very heavy waves crashing along the shore here. Of course, as Sean mentioned, we have seen some heavy winds in the area that have been steady. Of course, we're continuing to monitor the conditions along the coast. As Elizabeth has mentioned throughout the morning, we are expecting conditions to get better there, but of course, things that we have to look out for along the coast as the storm passes by.
And Destiny, evacuation orders are in effect for people on Hatteras and Ocracoke. Authorities spent days urging people to leave the area ahead of flooding. And the county manager now says there may not be enough resources for people choosing to stay behind.
They're not going to be able to get out and move around to get their medicine or their food or their water. And so they've prepared for all that. If they haven't prepared for that, then we're not going to be able to help them until the water clears, hopefully sometime on Friday.
While evacuation orders are in effect for Ocracoke and Hatteras, Dare County wants people along Oregon Inlet to also remain alert. Remember, you can count on WRAL for team coverage of Hurricane Erin and its impacts. Our meteorologists are tracking every movement, of the storm, and we have teams up and down the coast.
And as we track this hurricane, North Carolina is still struggling to pay the bills from the last major storm. The state is waiting for more than $200 million in FEMA reimbursements for Hurricane Helene. We reported last night that about $83 million was released yesterday, the majority of it still delayed. Governor Josh Stein says that the delay in FEMA funding has been a strain on state and local governments. He says they have the resources they need to respond to Hurricane Erin, but the state may need more help with recovery.
We will continue to work with our federal partners to make sure that the reimbursements are processed as quickly as possible, and then we'll have to wait and see what the impacts are for Hurricane Erin to see whether we need federal assistance as it relates to this storm.
Stein says FEMA teams are already on the ground in eastern North Carolina, working closely with state emergency responders as the storm passes our coast.
Happening today, the man accused of ramming his car into a Raleigh police car is expected to appear in court. The moment of that crash was caught on a dash camera. You can see it right here. The pickup truck drove head on into the police cruiser, and this was Saturday night on Thistlebrook Court. The suspect was Elmer Candela, and he was arrested yesterday after a standoff with police. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live this morning at the Wake County Courthouse in Raleigh. And Kelsey, it took hours for officers to get him in handcuffs yesterday.
Yes, Chris, it did. Elmo Bautista Candela is scheduled to be in court here at the Wake County Justice Center later today. Our cameras were there when he was at the magistrate's office late last night after being arrested. He's accused of ramming a pickup truck into a police car last weekend, which led to a chase. You can see that moment captured in this dash cam video. Yesterday, police tried to arrest Candela in connection to a car break-in. They say he fled the scene in a stolen car and crashed it before he ran to a home on Bashford Road. Sky 5 video shows RPD trying to get him out of the house. Raleigh police say Candela has several other active warrants for crimes like assault and attempted larceny. Candela should be in court this afternoon at 1:30, so we'll be sure to have a crew here to keep you updated on what comes out of this. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
A sinkhole shut down part of Newton Grove Highway in Sampson County overnight, and what you're seeing here is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. This would have been around 10 o'clock last night. Teams were out trying to make repairs near the intersection of Wire Branch Road, and that's outside of Spivey's Corner. We are still trying to find out how long it will take before that road is fixed.
A utility services provider is eliminating dozens of jobs in Franklin County after losing a major customer. N&S Locating Services told state officials it is laying off 126 of its North Carolina employees next month. And those employees report to the company's Youngsville office. Now, the layoffs come after the company lost a contract with internet service provider Brightspeed. Brightspeed declined to comment on the contract. NNS has not responded to our request for more information, including questions about how many employees would remain in our state. You can read more about the layoffs at WRAL.com.
Wake County will be getting an extra $8 million in opioid settlement funds, and that money will go into the county's opioid settlement fund itself. It comes from the Purdue Pharma settlement and 8 generic opioid settlements. The funding will give the county more resources to save lives. And last year, there was a decrease in opioid-related deaths in Wake County compared to 2023.
And Aaron begins to pull away today. Still, we'll see some breezy conditions here. Winds gusting this afternoon 15 to 20 miles per hour. We'll take a look at what's going to happen over the weekend as our next cold front approaches coming up.
And dangerous conditions. The Outer Banks is experiencing some of the worst impacts right now. We will track what's happening as the waves move in.
And riding out the storm, some people are choosing to stay put. We'll tell you how some are trying to protect their livelihoods from the flooding.
And here are your winning Powerball numbers. We have 31, 59, 62, 65, and 68. The Powerball is 5, multiplier is 2. No jackpot winner last night, so the jackpot is now $700 million.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
6:13. We do have mostly cloudy skies out there this morning. You can start to see a few thin spots in the clouds as we take a look at our tower right here in our backyard. We have it lit in purple for cloudy skies, but I do think we're going to see a bit more sunshine today, a bit earlier than we did yesterday. Here's a look at Aaron, and the storm is about 200 miles off the coast of Cape Hatteras. The center of circulation is, and most of the rain bands are well out to sea right now, as well as the strongest winds. We, of course, are looking at the potential still for some flooding conditions along the Outer Banks, but the storm is starting to pull away, so conditions should improve as we head through the morning. Unrelated to Aaron, we have a cold front that'll approach today and could bring us an isolated shower or thunderstorm. It'll also be a bit breezy for us, especially later this afternoon. Right now, our wind is coming out of the northwest, steady at about 5 to 15 miles per hour, but we could see some gusts this afternoon up to around 20, and it'll be a mild day. High temperatures in the mid-80s. Laura?
Here in the WRAL Traffic Center, boy, we are off and moving for your Friday Eve. All we're seeing is green on the map. That is a really good sign. This just popped up, a crash in the Durham area. I'm going to check on that and give you an update in the next 10 minutes on what that is. Overall, though, I-40 at Jones Sausage Road, you can see traffic is moving. It's beginning to pick up, but again, no major delays at this time. Taking a look at drive times right now, heading into the capital city, we're seeing very little to no delays. Similar situation if you're traveling in the Bull City this morning. Very little to no delays on your Thursday. Be sure to tune us in on the radio when you're heading out on the roads at 101.5 HD3.
Destiny Patterson here in the WRAL Live Center. I want to show you these images out of Rhode Island. You can see how intense these waves have been and how it's rocking this ferry boat back and forth, back and forth. This was video submitted by a viewer to CNN. Again, the intensity of those waves from Hurricane Aaron. Of course, we're watching the impacts on our coast as well.
And the owners of a motel on the Outer Banks is choosing to ride out the storm and protect their livelihood. Let's bring in WRAL's Ali Kadlabar. She joins us live right now. Ali, those high waters are making it difficult to keep their business safe.
Yes, Kristen, over the past 24 hours, they've seen walls knocked out and even a door ripped off. This is video they took on a Facebook Live yesterday evening. You can see the rushing waves under the stilts, the wind even making it hard to keep the camera still. Melinda Meadows tells us what she's worried will cause more damage this morning.
I mean, we had a lot of sand in the parking lot and things like that. But as the sand keeps coming in, the water has nowhere else to go. I mean, it's building up underneath the buildings. So it literally has nowhere to go, and that's what's causing the damage.
Now they're bracing for more damage this morning. We are checking in with them, and we will keep you updated. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Beaches along the coast have been shut down ahead of Aaron. In Onslow County, rip currents and beach erosion are major concerns for a vulnerable stretch of oceanfront. Waves were hammering the dunes at North Topsail Beach yesterday. Town leaders say they are doing their part to monitor the situation, and that includes monitoring equipment and the shorelines and issuing warnings and shutting down parts of the beach. Coastal engineer Fran Way is also watching the dunes closely as they take a beating.
The ultimate thing is will be dune failure, and then we're getting flooding on the streets, around the houses.
The ocean just swallows that sand. The interactive hurricane tracker on the WRAL weather app and WRAL.com allows you to see a storm's past, present, and future. Zoom in for day-by-day tracks, wind speeds, and directions to see where the worst is likely to hit so you can stay safe. Let's get to meteorologist Liz Gardner tracking Aaron as we speak. And interesting with this one, not bringing a whole lot of rain, but a lot of wind and storm surge, the big concerns.
And lots of flooding due to storm surge. So many times with storms that hit North Carolina, it's all about the rain, and we see so much heavy rain and flooding. But that's not the case. The storm, of course, didn't make landfall. It wasn't expected to make landfall. It's right now sitting about 200 miles off of Cape Hatteras. The center of circulation is, and it has already started to make that northeasterly turn, so pulling away. So we've seen the worst already because the storm surge tends to happen, right out ahead of the front. As that storm is moving forward, it pushes the water out ahead of it. And so we saw a lot of that yesterday and overnight last night. We should see that improving as we get through the day today. Right now, again, it's sitting about 205 miles southeast of Cape Hatteras, moving northeast at 17 miles per hour. So it's picking up some forward speed, moving on out of here. Winds at 105, making it a Category 2 storm. We do have some rain bands sitting offshore. Again, rain was not expected to be one of the big issues. We've seen some blustery winds, but nothing causing damage. The winds along the Outer Banks have been about 40 to 50 miles per hour. Right now, about 34 miles per hour around Cape Lookout, Cape Hatteras at 38, and closer to Nag's Head around 41 right now. So the winds will start to die down too as the storm continues to pull away. Now, we're not seeing any rain bands here. We haven't seen any. We'll see a cold front that starts to drop in from the north and west. That could produce an isolated shower later on today, and hopefully it'll help to clear things out too a little bit later on this afternoon. Through the weekend, we're going to be watching impacts at the coast, mainly just cleanup and rip current danger. If you're headed to the beaches, you want to stay away from the Outer Banks, but our southern coast is looking fine. There may be some erosion, and definitely you still want to stay out of the water, but the weather should be okay. We'll see a few sprinkles around here, some showers today and tomorrow, and then a nice drop in our temperatures by early next week. We're watching the next system coming down the pike, 70% chance that this develops, but one of the cold fronts coming off the coast over the weekend will keep it away from us, so we're not too worried about it. That cold front's also going to help to drop our dew points. This is not temperature, but dew points. We're going to see our muggy meter really dropping all the way down to comfy as we get into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Temperatures will also be well below average over the next 6 to 10 days. So when we get into next week, especially Tuesday and Wednesday, it feels really nice. We're looking at the first day of school, of course, for Wake County schools on Monday. Weather looks good for kids. I'm not sure if they're excited or not, but at least the weather will behave.
The weather will behave. Thank you, Elizabeth. Here in the WRAL Traffic Center, we are monitoring a crash near the Hillsborough area right now, taking you to the scene there. On the maps, we're looking at a crash on I-85, the northbound lanes near I-40 westbound. At that exit ramp, you can see it is beginning to cause a little bit of backup with that red on the map here. So we're going to keep our eyes on that and work to figure out what exactly is happening here. Overall, if you're traveling from Hillsborough into Durham, we're not seeing any major delays at this time. Here in the capital city, we're also keeping on our eyes on a little bit of a delay here traveling from Apex, about 11-minute delay heading into the capital city. Be sure to tune us in on the radio when you're heading out on the roads at 101.5 HD3.
Our team is on the ground on the Outer Banks tracking the impacts from Hurricane Aaron. Highway 12 has been a major trouble spot over the last several days. That's why we're going to check in with WRAL's Sean Gallagher in less than 15 minutes for the latest conditions there.
And AI in the classroom. Only on WRAL, Keely Arthur breaks down which school districts are embracing artificial intelligence and which ones are not.
Just a reminder, if you see breaking news, maybe you have a story tip or video or pictures of severe weather where you are, please report it to us by going to WRAL.com/report it. You can send your video, pictures, and your tip to our news team.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
The cast of Dawson's Creek is reuniting for a good cause, and a bear caught looking for a summer treat.
Let's take a look now at what's trending. The cast of Dawson's Creek is taking us back to the beginning for charity. James Vanderbeek, Katie Holmes, and others will be doing a live script reading of the pilot episode of the hit series. The event is going to be on September 22nd and will help benefit the nonprofit F Cancer. Last year, Vanderbeek announced that he was battling stage 3 colorectal cancer. And after that, I mean, there were so many people that wrote in and supported him on social media and such, and certainly hope that he heals up just fine.
Yeah, it really speaks to the bond that these castmates have. After all, Dawson's Creek really launched all of their careers. Yeah. Deputies in California stumbled upon a furry suspect when responding to a break-in over the weekend. This is a picture of a bear sitting behind the counter at a Lake Tahoe ice cream shop. Make yourself at home. Deputies said strawberry appeared to be his favorite flavor. I like his taste. The bear left without leaving behind much damage. So, Chris, a very courteous guest as well.
In my head, the deputies walks in and the bear goes, "We're closed," and just, I don't know, growls at him. But apparently, a few months ago, another bear did the same thing. So, I don't know, wild.
Now, if you've been thinking about adopting a pet, today's a perfect day to visit your local shelter. Friendly staff, meet and greets, and lots of wagging tails waiting for you. Wake County Animal Center is one of the participating shelters. And here's the best part. They are waiving adoption fees now through August 31st. Give a furry friend a fresh start. To learn more and locate a shelter near you, go to WRAL.com/shelters.
The Carolina Panthers have their third and final preseason game at home tonight, and you can watch that against the Pittsburgh Steelers right here on WRAL. That starts at 7 p.m.
And Aaron has made that northeasterly turn. Gradually this morning, it will start to pull away. But we'll tell you what's happening along the Outer Banks and what we'll expect here today, too. Coming up.
Tracking Aaron, conditions are at their worst right now on the Outer Banks. WRAL Sean Gallagher is there on the coast with what communities are being hit with.
And a ramming suspect in court. A man accused of slamming into a Raleigh police car. How officers were able to find him days later.
And here's a look at the winning lottery numbers.